And as for our today's overview, we'll kick things off by getting to know more about the state of Minnesota, exploring what makes it unique and vibrant. Then you'll get insights from our current student, a student just like you, who will talk about what life is like in Minnesota throughout all four seasons. And no, it's not just winter all the time. Even though Minnesota is famous for its chilly winters, there's so much more to experience in the spring, fall, and summer. And after that, Global Minnesota will introduce themselves and share the work they do connecting communities across the state. Next, we'll hear from the University of Minnesota Twin Cities as they present information about their programs and opportunities. And finally, we'll wrap up with breakout rooms where you'll have a chance to ask questions, connect more personally, and learn even more about the topics that interest you. Next, I'll pass it on to Mary Beth.
Thanks, Amora. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Beth Polk, and I'm an F1 student advisor at the University of Minnesota. This event will not cover specific details about the visa application process, travel, or specific questions. But if you do have questions about your visa application, travel, or entering the US, please reach out to your school or your DSO for specific guidance. Up next, I would like to welcome Catherine Gaylord Miles, Associate Director of Counseling and Advising in ISSS at UMN.
Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine Gaylord Miles, and I use she, her pronouns. As Mary Beth indicated, I'm the Associate Director for Student Advising and Counseling at the University of Minnesota. I moved to Minnesota 2 years ago, and like you, I arrived in the middle of the winter. I've enjoyed being able to explore Minnesota in all seasons, and I hope that you will as well. We're really excited about welcoming you to Minnesota this month. Today, I want to talk to you about safety. Minnesota and the Minneapolis-St. Paul area have been in the news lately, especially for a shooting last week that involved an immigration and customs enforcement or ICE agent. I know that has raised safety concerns for current and incoming international students. While we as international student advisors cannot provide any guarantees, we and others who work at the colleges and universities here in Minnesota are doing our best to help you be and feel safe. Each school has its own unique resources and may include walking escorts or other services to help you get home safely, especially at night, and various offices that can respond in case of emergency. If you have questions about the resources that will be available to you at your school, I encourage you to talk to your international student advisor. I think that I speak for all of us who work in international student advising when I say that we look forward to welcoming you to Minnesota soon. At this point, I'm going to pass it back to Amanda.
Now, we'll be talking about the overview of um, So first, I want to thank Global Minnesota, our co-host, for helping us create a space for new international students in Minnesota to come together and welcoming you all in this webinar. Today, we're joined by professional staff from University of Minnesota Twin Cities. So please react in a heart if you're excited to hear about more of it from our presenters today. And as for our Minnesota overview, we're known to have 10,000 lakes, and we're located in the upper Midwest alongside the US and Canada border. And that's why you'll hear a lot of people say that Minnesotans are very similar to Canadians. So the name Minnesota came from the Native American language for this region, which means clear blue water. So this land we're on is native land, the home to indigenous people who have deep historical and cultural values to the land. And we have approximately 5.8 million people who live who live here, with the capital city being St. Paul and the biggest city being Minneapolis. And next, about the people here in Minnesota. We have a very diverse population, and Minnesota is a local hub for Indigenous communities, groups who immigrated to Minnesota in the 1800s from predominantly European countries, and immigrants who came to Minnesota in the 1900s and 2000s who are Hmong, Somali, Tibetan, Liberian, Central American, Vietnamese, and others. Minnesota is also one of the top places for LGBTQ plus community. We also have a lot of international students here, international students just like you. And in terms of sports teams, we have the Timberwolves basketball, uh, which we're doing really great right now, Vikings, American football, Lynx for women's basketball, MN United FC for soccer. And if you're curious about the personalities of how Minnesotan people are, they usually speak very indirect language. For example, let's hang out sometimes. And you'll also hear a lot about Minnesotanize, and that's because Minnesotans are very similar to Canadians because of how nice they are. And last but not least, we're also known to have the biggest mall in America, known as the Mall of America. Next, on this map, you can find some great spots to visit across Minnesota. For example, we have the Minnehaha Falls, Split Rock Lighthouse, and etc. And on the snapshot, you can see our University of Minnesota's location. Next, I'll pass it on to Doris.
Hi everyone, I'm Doris Lee and I use she, her pronoun, excuse me. I'm also a student leader at ISSS at UMinn. So thank you, Amora. It was very interesting to learn more about Minnesota. And you may be wondering what kind of activities you can do in Minnesota during 4 seasons, especially in winter. So even during winter, there are many events and activities happening in Minnesota and on campus. So we encourage you to go outside, stay active, and have fun. So first, let's go to winter. So I pick 3 events for you. So the first one will be the Minneapolis Institute of Ice. So the event showed like a large ice sculpture made by artists. You can walk around, take photos, and enjoy the ice art outside. And next one will be the Simple Winter Carnival. So this is the oldest winter festival in the state. And it is a big winter celebration with parades, music, ice castles, and many people enjoying the event together. And last one will be the Luminary Lopet. So this is like a magical winter evening event. So people enjoy a walk with the candles lightening the way and the ice slides and fun activities with their family, with their friends. So for more detailed information, please feel free to check the links we just shared in the chat if you're interested in. So next, let's move on to the winter clothes, which it is very important. So the most important item is having a good winter coat. So like a Columbia one, a North Face one. So like everyone looks like a penguin in winter, so definitely no worries. So in fall or spring, you can just wear layers like a t-shirt, hoodie, or like add on jackets and also scarf it's when it's colder. So boots and long socks can also help you to keep your foot warm and wear a winter hat that covers your ears and also gloves that you can use with your phone. A scarf is also important, as I mentioned, so definitely wrap it up around your neck and put it up to cover your face. So my suggestions for you is you can buy them until you come to Minnesota, which you can save more space for your luggage. And next, let's move on to spring. So after the cold winter and all the preparation for winter weather, spring finally comes. Sometimes Minnesota actually skips spring and goes directly from winter to summer. But however, when spring does arrives, it is a beautiful season with many fun. And also, there are lots of activities you can do during spring. So, for example, there are the Alice Butler Wild Flower Garden, which is a great place you can go in spring to take some photos, to take a nice walk and see all the beautiful flowers while they are blooming. And also we have the farmers market, which is pretty also interesting to visit. So you can buy all the fresh veggies, fruits over there. So I put on two famous farmers market. One is in Minneapolis and one is in Simple. And so I just went to a simple one, and it is very easy to reach. So you just take the metro and wait down to the last stop. So Minnesota has many beautiful natural views, such as parks, lakes, and like walking trail, as Amara mentioned before. So make sure to spend some time exploring the state and enjoy its beauty. So next, let's move on to summer. Summer is a great time to enjoy the warm weather and have fun. So there are lots of exciting activities and events during this season. So you can walk by the Mississippi River, enjoy lots of different festival in downtown in different places, and discover like hidden trails that connect like Minneapolis and Simple. You can even go further to Duluth, which I just visited this May, and the lake view is really beautiful, I promise. So definitely do not miss the chance to visit it. And also don't forget the Minnesota State Fair. I also went there that summer and had so much fun over there. So summer is all about different festivals and exploring. So I really recommend spending time discovering Minnesota without snow. So you can also refer to the online checklist to help you plan your visit. So next, let's move on to the last one, which is fall. So fall is a beautiful season in Minnesota. And two of the most popular activities are picking apples and visiting the pumpkin patches. And do not miss trying the delicious apple cider donuts. And for Halloween, you can visit the jack-o'-lantern display at Minnesota Zoo or join the Halloween half marathon in Minneapolis. So fall is definitely a great time for like biking, kayaking in a cooler weather with the beautiful views. So I especially like seeing the leaves fall down to the ground and changing the color on the tree, on campus, on all the road. And they turn like from to red, orange, yellow, brown, and make the whole place look amazing and relaxing. So if you want to get more ideas, please check the link in the chat. And next, I would like to welcome Joe from Global Minnesota.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Minnesota. I'm Joe. I am the volunteer and international student manager at Global Minnesota. And as you, I'm also an international. I'm originally from Brazil, and I'm here today with my colleague Sylvia, who works with me, and she is from Germany. So I'll be in the breakout room later to ask questions and do fun activities. But now here in the main session, I'm going to give a quick overview about what is Global Minnesota and what we have to offer for you international students, even before you arrive here, but for sure while you're here. So the next slide. So this is a picture of our building, Global Minnesota. We are actually located at the University of Minnesota campus. We are on the University Avenue, right across from Rec Well, which is the recreation and wellness building. This building used to be a fraternity, but we rent now 2 floors. So that's where we are. So the first and second floor, that's Global Minnesota right there. So many students walking on their way to their classes or to the McNamara Alumni Center or Recwell, they walk by our office. So if it's in the chilly, cold days, if you're walking by and you're feeling too cold, you're welcome to knock on the door. And if we're there, we'll let you in to warm up, and we have a hot chocolate or tea for you and a fireplace because we also have one. So Global Minnesota was actually founded back in 1951. And back then, we started to welcome international students into the United States. So back then, it was after the Second World War, and lots of students were coming to America, and there wasn't this amazing infrastructure that we have with ISSS and so many brilliant international students, scholar services professionals. It was not like that back then. So this was the community around University of Minnesota got together to help welcome you. As the years went by, we evolved to become more than an organization that welcomes international students. We evolved to become a World Affairs Council and to do more programs to promote global understanding and global engagement. So we're now a nonprofit and nonpartisan organization that is like the hub for all things international in Minnesota. So we have programs and events about all different kinds of international topics. We welcome international students, international visitors, diplomats, but we also have exciting programs for locals as well, so they get to know more about the world. And so we have back then a motto that was, they came as strangers, may they leave as friends. And that motto was developed for you international students. And this is still very important for us today. So the next one. So if you go to Global Minnesota website, which is globalminnesota.org, you're going to see so many tabs that you can click through to find out what we do, because we do a lot. We are a small staff of 16. We have different areas of programs and events. My area is international students, and I'll be talking to you just about the international student component of Global Minnesota. But if you're into public policy, international relations, political sciences, we have much more for you. If you are into international education, we have more for you. If you are into all kinds of business and marketing, we have lots of international and corporate events for you. But for international students, we have off-campus social culture events. So pretty much every month, I take international students from different colleges. It's welcome and open to everyone to go somewhere fun outside of campus. This way you get to actually explore Minnesota, not alone, and getting to know other students from all over. And so we also do probably 3 times a year career webinars, because we feel like getting you prepared for a job, for an internship is also very important. And I collaborate with Jane Sitter at U of M for these career webinars. So I'll be happy to see you join one of them. We also have for our international student members, and if you scan that QR code, you become a member for free. We offer friendship family opportunities, which means the opportunity to have a dinner at the home of a Minnesotan. So this opened the window for a lot of culture exchange, to see how it is inside of an American home, how it is to have an American meal, but it also opens the door to making local connections. That's something that international students really need to foster while they're here. We also offer volunteer and internship opportunities. We have a quarterly newsletter and WhatsApp groups, and I'll share a link to one of our WhatsApp groups later here in the chat. And as I said, for those of you interested in international business and world affairs, we have other areas of events for you as well. So just visually, we do international student events, and that's us taking students camping. We offer volunteer opportunities that we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Volunteering is very important in the United States and in Minnesota. We also have our world affairs and corporate events for networking and professional development. And we offer internship opportunities for international students and domestic students alike. And we love to have international students in our office. So talking about volunteering, community service, some international students, they do need to, based on their type of visa or sponsorship, to get engaged with volunteer service. And we're a great place for that. But regardless of requirement, I highly recommend international students to volunteer while they're in Minnesota. It can be with us, we'll be very happy, but it can be with whatever nonprofit organization that you feel inspired and that really you'd like to engage with. More than 50% of Minnesotans volunteer at some point. So volunteer is a way for you to boost your resume and show that you're trying to make a difference while you're here and giving back to the local community. And Classroom Connection is a program where international students don't require any experience. It doesn't require you to be involved in studying education. But we train, my colleague Sylvia train international students to share their country and culture with children and teenagers in elementary, middle, and high schools here in Minnesota. So no experience required. Usually take 3 visits to the same class. So a total of 16 hours only of commitment in one of your terms, spring or fall. Very flexible schedule within the time you have available, but it can be Saturday or Sundays because there are no school sessions during those days. And we provide rights and reference letters. When you apply for a job or internship, we can be one of your references. And it's not only a way to give back and to inspire children with your country, with your culture, bring the world to them, but it also will boost your resume, will bring you new connections, will make you understand how the school system in the US, and it's fun. It's really fun. So I hope you guys can join our volunteering program, and we'll be in the chat, the breakout room to answer questions later. Just some of the events, of the fun events we do. We take students everywhere: museums, lake, camping, waterfalls. Think about everything fun. We'll take you year round. So I hope you can join one of our future events soon. And to stay engaged with us, to learn more about our events, we're going to be sharing here, it's already in the chat, the link to become a Global Minnesota member for free. So international students, while they're here and 1 year after they leave, they can become Global Minnesota members at no cost. And with that, they receive my newsletter, and you're going to be really in the loop of all our events, internship, and volunteer opportunities. And also, we have a WhatsApp group for international students to connect with other students. And if you click on this link or scan the QR code, you'd be automatically in this WhatsApp group that there's almost 200 students there, and they can be a resource for you as well to help answer your questions and find your people from your country and your major, and we're there to help you. So it'll be wonderful to see you there today. And now I'm going to pass to Marina, and I'll see you in the breakout room later. Thank you so much, and welcome to Minnesota.
Thank you, Joe, for welcoming everybody. And again, welcome to all of you. My name is Marina Ovejara, and I'm the Program Director for Student Engagement and International Student Scholar Services here at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. We initially created this webinar to welcome you to our home state that is known for welcoming voices from all over the world. Our people want to welcome you here to the university and our state. And we usually partner up with other institutions across Minnesota to welcome all international students here to the state of Minnesota. You may have also seen in the news what is going on in the state of Minnesota regarding immigration, and that you may be anxious about your arrival here if you haven't arrived yet. So I, alongside everybody in this group, as well as various organizations, want to know that we value you and we're here to support you. As many students here joining us today, I also used to be an international student. I actually used to be a student from Argentina/Japan. And I connect with people from all over the world. Actually, Joe, who just presented, we connected because we're both from South America and we're neighbors. And what an incredible way to make connections and friendships here. You chose the University of Minnesota to be your home for the next few months, semesters, and years. So I would like to share with all of you specific information about the U of M, or the U, to better help you understand how this large public research institution is. So for our next slide, I'd like to share a little bit about the history of the University of Minnesota. The University of Minnesota was founded as a preparatory school in 1851, 7 years before the territory of Minnesota became an actual state. The U of M Twin Cities is a reference to the two cities that the campus spans, and that's Minneapolis and St. Paul. It is divided by the mighty Mississippi River. We are also not the only University of Minnesota campus in the state. There's actually other what we call system-wide campuses, and those will be in Duluth, Morris, Crookston, and Rochester. So oftentimes you will hear those of us refer to University of Minnesota Twin Cities, University of Minnesota Rochester, and so on. At the U of M Twin Cities, we have over 50,000 students studying at the Twin Cities campus, and we have about 17 to 1 student to faculty ratio. Additionally, about 80% of our classes have 50 students or fewer. So even though we are quite a large campus, we do have some smaller classes for you all. A lot of our professors and alumni, and we're proud to say this, have won 26 Nobel Prizes, including one in 2014. You may have seen this in the movies lately. Famous singer-songwriter alumnus Bob Dylan. Another part is one of the great things about a large student body is that it will give you a huge network when you graduate. The University of Minnesota has almost 500,000 living alumni and 80 alumni networks or chapters around the world, which means you can find a global golfer in every corner of the world. The U of M is not only quite large around the state, but in the Twin Cities, it consists of 3 campuses. And so to give you a better idea, we have a photo of the East Bank campus, the West Bank campus, and the St. Paul campus. Don't worry, after a few days, you'll be able to navigate these campuses pretty well, either on foot or bike, which is Minnesota is a very bike-friendly state. On scooter or hopping on the campus connector that circulates and connects all the campuses. With that being said, I'm going to invite Doris back to the screen to share a little bit more about how to make connections.
Thank you, Marina. It is so helpful for listening to all the facts, all the important information. So with that, first of all, I want to mention that this slide was made by our amazing student leader, Youth. So who I think is really like an expert about making connections. So I want to thank him for sharing all these great tips. So first, always try to step out of your comfort zone. So most of the people feel nervous too, same as you, same as me when I first came. So definitely do not be too afraid to say hi if you're not sure like how to start. You can say hi when you meet me or when you see Amara in the campus or see any of the staff here in our webinar. I think that is a great starting point. And next, it will be open to new experiences. So there are many student clubs and organizations you can join, and you could like just start your own club as well. So for example, one of our very famous club is the Lettuce Club. So it meets like once a semester to see who can eat the whole head of lettuce the fastest. It sounds pretty interesting, maybe to you. For me, that is super interesting. And that the winner who eat the fastest could become the legendary head of lettuce. Yes. So finally, do not let the language barrier to stop you from making friends. So you can meet people not just at your own university, but also people from other university. For example, you can go to the events Global Minnesota held to make more connections with others. So why not give it a try? So next, I'll pass it to Amara to introduce our breakout room.
Thank you, Doris. That was very helpful. Now we're moving on to the very last session part of our session, which is the breakout rooms. So if you look at the bottom right of your screen, you'll see a button labeled Breakout Rooms in your Zoom control panel. And then when you click it, a window will pop up where you can choose which room you want to join. For this portion, we have two breakout rooms, one for Global Minnesota and one for University of Minnesota. And feel free to join UMN's room to chat with college representatives and get your answers question, whether it's general or specific to your situation. Or you can join Global Minnesota to learn more about their programs, their impact, ask questions, and just connect with them in a more informal setting. So please feel free to jump around breakout rooms at any time. And as a reminder, the breakout rooms will not be recorded. So I'm going to ask our amazing tech lead, Anita, to open the breakout rooms now. And if you're having any trouble joining, please let us know and we'll be able to help you.
Hi everyone, if you have trouble to joining one of our breakout rooms, feel free to chat us through the chat function or feel free to unmute yourself. And I and Marina here, we are able to just move you to one of the breakout rooms. So feel free to let us know